Welcome to Annette's Duets. Today I'm so thrilled to share with you an artist that I've been dying to get on this stage right here. A singer-songwriter, a film, music, and event producer, overall entertainer, and friend, Giovanny Blanco. Thank you for being here, Gio.
Thank you. My favorite part was the friend part.
Oh, see? Yes. I love that. And I know that I missed things, but we'll find them all while we talk.
No worries.
I was looking for the overall umbrella of a description because, my friend, you are everywhere. And so it's almost impossible to begin to describe and explain to everybody why I love you so much. I do. But
likewise.
The way I would like to begin is by sharing, earlier we got to play a couple of Gio's originals, and that there was one called The Only Way, and I was hoping you could explain to us how you came upon the song or what it means for you or whatever you want to share.
The Only Way was a few years back. I like to set up challenges for myself and do weird deadlines, and I was turning a certain age. A nice ripe age.
I've turned that age before. It's fine.
And I thought, instead of having like a big party, it was because it was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we can't have a party. And I thought, you know what? It was like a couple weeks away. I'm like, I'm gonna write and record an album.
Amazing.
In this time and whatever. And I just like wrote songs, several songs every day. And I had about 16, 17 songs that I'd written and demoed. And started recording with a friend remotely, and as we were mixing and recording the final parts, I still felt like there was something that like I needed like a straightforward song, like something that was not so heavy because of what we were all feeling during that time.
Well, the album's called The Emotionalist.
The Emotionalist, yeah.
Heavy, Gio? Okay.
I wear my feelings on my sleeve. I'm an extroverted introvert, so I like to kind of just. It's as songwriters, we're blessed with that ability to kind of let those emotions out in a way that are not as harmful, let's say, as in other ways with other people, and doing that whole album. I came up with that song, and it was just one of those things that I was actually trying to learn another song, and I'm not going to say which it is because I don't want the comparisons, but it doesn't sound like that other song. It's ironically, it sounds a lot like that artist, but not the song that I was learning. And I just kind of came across some chords that I liked, and I was just like, oh, this is cool. And I rarely sing low, so it was just like a kind of different opportunity to do something different.
Yeah.
And when I thought about it, I just thought about like, I was thinking about when we were in the pandemic and the sort of like how are we gonna survive this? And it's just like, we just have to kind of go through it, you know what I mean? And that was it. And I was just like, oh, there it is. And it kind of wrote itself. And it's actually one of the fastest songs I've ever written.
Oh man,
yeah,
it's so good.
It took me 7 days.
I love that.
I'm kidding. No, it took me like 20 minutes, and I was just like,
well, I've witnessed you on your writing journey at times, and he'll be like, hey, give me 2 names, and then 15 minutes later there's this whole song about Harriet and Frank or whatever. While he was working. Anyway, so I hope you enjoy it. This song is called The Only Way.
The only way to get over is through. There ain't no golden ticket, it's just me and you. Ain't no shortcuts to salvation, no express line to the truth. The only way to get over is through. The only way out is through. You better leave your baggage behind, there's only room for 2. There ain't no just in cases or maybes, weather permitting is no excuse. The only way out is through. can't push and I can't pull, and we can't hide. Everything's in plain view. If this is supposed to be forever, well, there's no better time to light it up and watch it all burn right through. We can start anew. The only way in is through. There's only one way to rock. Who knew? So put your hand in mine, and I'll put my trust in you. The only way in is through. It's what we have to do. It's the best for me and you.
Yes. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed playing that with Gio. Thank you for letting me join
Are you
you on
kidding?
that.
You just made it better.
And we didn't say the name of the band, which is you, on this
Yes.
album, and you're going by Blanco and Junk on this one.
On this one, yeah, this is
Yeah.
what happened at the time. Because of the pandemic, my whole life I've always written songs, and I've known my basic guitar chords and basic piano chords, but I've always written in collaboration, and almost always, and everything was accompanied with other people. And the lockdown was like the first time that I was like, oh crap, I can't.
Here I am.
I don't have
Yeah.
that. It's just like me. So.
But out of all the funky stuff came that, and that was amazing.
Yeah. So I would just like to, in my little studio, I had like a cajon and a shaker and something to my foot, and I'd just be playing by myself. So I always called it, it's Blanco, Giovanny Blanco, and Junk.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Okay, and I'm going to get back to all the different variations of you and your bands and all of that, but I have to start at the very beginning because I don't know if people really know this about you. I don't know how often you share this piece of information, and here we are. It is on the interview now. Please, 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 can you explain how it was that you were famous for being in a boy band? Can you explain this? Your start. Can you share?
Yes. Well, my parents are from Dominican Republic, and I grew up in Brooklyn and in New Jersey, and when I was about 10, they decided they wanted to move back to their country, to their motherland, and it was a big culture shock. But around the same time, I was really getting into music and singing and stuff. I always loved singing. I was the kid in the family that, once there was like a family gathering or whatever,
showman.
I'd be like, go out there and sing a song, whatever, or do a little dance, or like usually just lip syncing, which was kind of like weird, whatever. But anyway, when we moved to the Dominican Republic, I met some guys in schools, a couple kids in school, who were trying to put together a band, a singing group, and I was like, great, I'd love to do that, and went to their house. They asked my brother and I, and it's like we went to their house, and when we got there, it was just like, this is the plan. We're gonna lip sync to all these other these groups, whatever.
Menudo.
Yeah, that kind of thing, whatever. And it was just like 3 guys and 3 girls. And I realized, this is like I'm 11 at this time, 11 or 12, that this guy had other intentions. Like he didn't really care about the music or whatever. He just wanted to
The girls.
He's like, hey, let's all hang out. I'm like, all right, okay, whatever, that's cool. But I'm not lip syncing. I want to do something real. Cut to 6 months later, that same guy ended up being in this group that was put together in Dominican Republic. At the time, it was like a Menudo craze, boy band craze. It was like the first era of that. And this guy is a musician, manager, wanted to do the Dominican version of it. And he had this group together, and they had 5 guys, and at the last minute, 2 weeks before the debut, they had recorded the album already and everything. One of the kids was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. So that same kid from the school got back. He's like, hey, you know what? I'm in this thing right now. I'm like, Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
sure
not,
you are.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, this is real. You have to come with me. So after school, we went. We like took like a little car, public car, whatever they used to call them, and there I was just auditioning, and the guy was just like, "You want to do this, whatever?" And like he played Yesterday on piano. I sang Yesterday, and he's like, "Okay, you can sing, right?
Oh
Let's
my
do
God.
a little dance steps on it. You can dance." He's like, "You want to do this?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, we got into a car to my parents' house.
Oh my
And
God.
it was like this guy presented his whole case to my parents. I'm 11 years old, so it's like
That's crazy.
And my parents are like looking at me. So what do you think? I'm like, yes. I'm like, yeah. And my parents are
Wow.
supportive. But yeah. So and then less than 2 weeks later, we were playing a stadium and full of people, and I was just like
Hooked.
pure shock. Yeah.
Yeah. But you traveled quite a bit with that, right? Like,
Yeah. That was for about 3 years of just Latin America, to releasing an album, and that whole thing, like the teen magazine, like it was like a Latino teen magazine kind of thing. It's just like it was really strange to kind of grow up with that, but also it's like it was a different country too, so it's like a different experience to the culture shock, and I mean it was one of the best experiences of my life.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And so then eventually you moved back to New York.
Yeah, we went. My parents separated, and my father decided to move to Connecticut at that point. And I was 16 at that point, and I had become enamored of John Hughes movies and the sort of like the '80s kind of idea of like high school and whatever.
Yeah.
And thinking that my experience in Dominican Republic wasn't the same. It was just like this, like I want the American, So my dad came. I'm just like, sorry, Mom, I love you, but I'm going with Dad. And came here. It was the same exact thing, just in English.
Just in English.
Just same, not as cool as the John Hughes movies.
Yeah,
But
fair enough. That's fair enough.
But coming here, it was definitely a thing where the last thing I did in the Dominican Republic was join a rock band when I was like 14, 15. And I felt like, oh, I want to do that here in the States. And I've just been singing in bands ever since.
Yeah, you have. And so you've done New York and Nashville.
I did a stint in Nashville a little bit, but it wasn't really much as a songwriter, just in the business, just working for a long defunct channel called the Nashville Network, which is mainly a channel that just showed shows about fishing or country music videos or line dancing videos.
I love it.
And it was an important part for me because being a Latino kid from New England, New York, not being exposed to country and having like a indoctrination, just like straight up learning about country, but from people who really love country. So it wasn't really all about just about the popular stuff, but it was like it's like having people sit you down and like have drinks and like just listen to George Jones all night, kind of thing, where it's like, okay, I get this, I feel this, and
So you got a big understanding.
yeah, that was like a big for me. Like,
Education.
Yeah. Also, I think about that time in particular, because I feel like the times that we're living in now and how people are so divided, and I always have to remember that people had their different beliefs and they had their different sort of ways of living, and felt a lot more welcoming back then. Yeah. Like for me anyway, that 20-something who was not who was from New York.
Yeah.
You're from New York, huh?
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. But everyone was always like very welcoming, and finding that's like missing now because everyone's kind of like holding on to their, everyone's like, it's like sports or something, like
their team,
Dodgers,
yes.
I'm Angels, and whatever, and it's like it's not a competition.
But we're working on this through music, right? The music is going to be the great uniter, is what I believe. And eventually you found your way to LA.
Yes.
And one of my thoughts and questions for you is, so like, where do you feel most at home musically?
That's
because I've only been here, so I don't really. I'm fascinated when people have been around, and
I have to like That's fun. No one's ever asked me that question before.
I'm here for the deep cuts.
I feel like it's like that thing where, wherever I lay my hat.
Yes. Okay.
So that's wherever I'm at.
Okay.
It's always going to be.
I like that.
Yeah. So that's I can be comfortable anywhere.
I feel like that speaks to your talent, that you're able to adjust and make your way. And making your way, my friends, this man makes his way everywhere. There is nowhere that you're not singing in all of these different iterations, I think is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the Holy Broken, the Dirty Lowdown, Blanco and Junk. The new one is the Sea Monsters.
Yeah.
And then all these other ones you've just started.
So the main one that I do is called the High Revival.
Yeah.
Which is basically, it's a kind of a hybrid of
I missed
everything.
that. I missed the main.
My publicist is doing a great job.
I gotta get on my researchers. Yeah. Okay.
No. It's just that. So I've always played in original projects. Well, the only cover band that I was ever in was in high school, in Hartford High in Connecticut. It was a band that was formed by the jazz kids and the church kids kind of melding together, but they were all like very experimental. So it was a improvisational group, and it was just a bunch of musicians and me and another singer, and we were just kind of like, they'd go, let's go do this in G and go blah blah blah, and then we would just sing whatever we wanted to sing on top of it.
That's so great though.
But we would often do covers because we were just kind of like whatever popped in our mind. And then after that, I never did covers again until 2013, 2014, because the last project I had kind of fallen apart, which was a band called Shoe Show, a funk, electronic funk band.
I could see that.
Yeah, and my partner was like, after a year or two of just like not being in band, not doing music, and she was just like, you were miserable. Get out of this house and join like the nearest cover band, like corner blues band, whatever you can find, and go sing, and I did just that. And I found a blues band that was in Long Beach. Through that, doing those shows with that band, I would find people would kind of ask me to do, hey, our singer is sick, whatever, can you sing for this show, whatever, we have a wedding that we don't want to miss out on, and our singer's in Acapulco, whatever. It was just so opportunities came, and then like the cover band thing was just like a new thing for me. I was never against it, but it was just always it's a different experience. It's like, it's not for me. It is for me. But then in the fighting that, I've been doing, going back to original stuff over the years, mainly in collaboration. So like I love kind of like meeting people and just be like, hey, let's write a few songs together, whatever, and keeping that alive. So the High Revival now, this is like the main thing that I do, is the High Revival is a combination of the two. So I call myself the High Revival when I play solo.
Okay.
But I also have a band that we play out, and we'll do because it's so difficult to find venues that will support original music, or find. So it's like we're constantly trying to put these events together where we're combining 3, 4, 5, 7 artists to do something just to bring people out or convince venue owners that it's viable, that it's like people want to hear music, and because people do want to hear music, original music. So with the High Revival, it's just I just do a combination of the two. It's like, oh, you want to hire my cover band for, peanuts, whatever the going rate is, then I'm gonna slip in as many originals as possible.
Right.
And that's been going great. That's like a really cool thing, and it's different from all the other cover things because usually people are very nervous about, like, no, don't do originals. You're gonna scare the people off, and it's like people just want to hear like a good song.
You start singing, they want you, and they vibe.
Like, there's a beat going, they don't care. But
I love that.
Sorry for the long explanation.
Yeah, no, I love the long. That's why we're here. Okay, and so through some of that,
she's fed me 3 cups of coffee.
Yes,
so far.
I have. I know what to do. All right, so part of why I said, and you just touched on, event producer, you're putting things together always. The way I met you was you were hosting a singer-songwriter night.
Yeah.
Under what you called Truck Stop Mixtape.
Truck Stop Mixtape, yeah.
And one of the things I loved about it, well, I just was so impressed, is that a lot of times when people are hosting things, it's to also promote themselves. And I asked you, I was like, why aren't you singing? And you were like, I don't know, I just want to have something for singer-songwriters to have a place to play. And I just fell in love with you right there. Like, that was the sweetest thing I thought, that you're genuinely there to showcase other people as well. And and such a great community organizer and bringing people together. And now you're doing it at Bartend, at the bowling alley at Corbin Bowl.
At the Corbin Bowl in Tarzana. Yeah, no,
and so can you talk about that a little?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna, I don't mean to interrupt. It's just like, often people will say like, well, why don't, whatever. And it's like, what people miss is that it's my intentions are purely selfish. Because the thing is, I get off on that. I get off seeing people being able to do their own stuff.
Okay.
And it's like, I'm not necessarily folks who are seasoned and they're excellent performers and they know themselves as artists inside and out. Mm-hmm. That is awesome. That is great too. But I love people who are kind of continuously searching.
There to grow.
And to me, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Because then that's like that's like a dopamine. There's like a certain energy. There's like a certain nervousness, excitement when people are there, and I get goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's like that's what it's all about. It's like it's contagious.
Yeah, no, and you are contagious there.
Yeah.
On those nights, it's incredible. And can you share how you came up with Truck Stop Mixtape name? It's so great.
It's it kind of goes back to a movie. There's a movie in the '90s called Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and it had Andy Garcia, Christopher Walken. It was like kind of a gangster movie. Underrated. You definitely watch it. But the screenwriter had a lot of cool lines in it and whatever. And one of them was, I love boat drinks. Boat drinks. It's like, it was just saying like, what's your goal in life? Boat drinks. And it's like, what they meant by that is like, I want to be on a yacht drinking, that's I want to boat drinks. That's my level, And the other thing that I loved about that movie was just like, if there's something confusing, if there's a problem, if there's some sort of situation that pops up, it's like, if you give it, he's like, just give it a name, and then once you give it a name, then it becomes its own entity that you can approach and deal with, as opposed to sort of like unknown, like, oh my God, what am I gonna do, whatever, and it's like, just call it something.
Adventure.
Whatever.
I love that.
We'll call it the Bob situation.
Yeah, great. Yeah. We got Bob behind the camera. Yeah.
Once you give it a name, and it's like, then it becomes something, and then you can, like, you recognize it, I don't know, consciously, subconsciously, as something that you can actually approach. You know what I mean? As opposed to like sort of like overwhelming worry.
Yes.
And not that this is anything about that, but so I used to do in the Holy Broken, a band that I was in for 3 or 4 years. Used to do a residency at a place called the Park Bar in Burbank once a month, and the first few months we were doing it, our only goal was our main goal was to write a song every time we played. And once we realized that it was the same group of bands that were playing the same residency, I remembered that. I'm like, because we were having trouble bringing people to the venue or whatever. Like, what do we do? It's just like, let's give the night a name. So it's like, if you give the night a name, then it's like a festival vibe. It's got like, like, did you go to, Annette's Duets?
Right.
Annette's Duets last month was amazing.
Right.
As opposed to the thing that Annette did at the other bar,
Right.
And
it's
it's
great.
like, it's something. And we did that. I call it Truck Stop Mixtape. And that was from being on the road as much as I have, and just loving, like, I love rest stops. I love, gas stations in the middle of nowhere. And back in the day, you'd buy those, like, greatest hits of 1977 or the whatever, because you're on the road and you're like
various artists.
you'd be like, and you'd buy this CD, and it's like, it was just like, we need something new,
Yeah.
You know, you'd pop it in, and that like I love that idea. And so when it came down time to do the singer-songwriting, I was playing at this place in Nabu Wines, and Greg, the owner, was a great guy who's very supportive of the music scene. And I told him about, you know, that I did that, like I wrote songs. It's like, he's like, you should put a night here. I was like, whatever. I'm like, you know, whatever. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then it happened.
Yeah, and it developed, and it was great.
It was fun.
Yeah.
We did it once a month, and many different artists in the area between, like, you know, downtown LA all the way to like Santa Barbara came through, and it was great. And then stopped doing it there because it was just like and I love the venue, and it's a great place, but I felt like, okay, I need to do it. I wanted to do it more frequently, and I also wanted to find a way where it was like more opening for everybody, just like a little bit more for everyone. So I stopped doing that, but last year I felt like I dropped off playing guitar. Like I needed to get back on playing guitar and writing songs. So I was doing a lot of open mics, just going all over town, hitting open mics. And I was at Bar 10 one night, talking with the manager and the bartenders, and, you know, telling them, it's like, I'm going all over the place, whatever. And they're like, you know, you should do an open mic here. I'm like, really? It's like, that'd be great. Let's, you know, whatever. And it's like, do you have an open night and whatever? I'm like, I think we can do something on Mondays. And that was it.
It is like, great. And it's a great room. I love playing that room.
It's a good stage. By the way, going Wednesday nights.
Oh, yeah, we're going to move it to Wednesdays. But I just think it's such a great opportunity for everybody, and just thank you, because really it is a great space. So you can write a song that day and go try it that night, and
completely.
And I've seen you do it within 20 minutes, and you've had me on stage with stuff. Annette, come sing this. Wait, we just what? Yeah, but you're on the fly, and I love it. Yeah,
I want it to be a safe space for artists, but also just like you know. A lot of times these events are just like are populated by other artists.
Yeah, so it becomes like a party.
We're supporting each other. Yeah. We're kind of like learning about each other, and realizing that we can be ourselves in that environment.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. All right, so speaking of, we've touched on a lot of movies, and I'm just curious how movies feed your soul the way music does, because I know it's sort of equally important to you.
Yes, all art, all anything that's an expression of somebody's like soul is influential for me. But movies in general, because they take me out of my head.
There's a lot going on in that head of yours. Thus the artist. Yeah.
But it's a good escape. I mean, like I was thinking that you know, some people will say like, oh, I'll just take a nap and just kind of relax for a little bit. There's nothing more relaxing for me than watching a movie, and it's like a trip, and it takes me somewhere. With music, it's like, it's a funny thing, because with music, it's not the same as like back in the day that you'd get an album and you'd sit down, and look at, you know, it's like we've lost that experience, and we're kind of slowly losing it with movies as well, because we're watching movies in different devices and things, and we're not like focusing on it. But there's a different thing about going into a theater and you're there, and you're like you're a captive audience, and therefore you're in for the ride. And I love that feeling. But that's all, you know, and just to kind of experience other worlds, other cultures, other you know, points of view, and it also just involves everything we do as well. There's always music in movies. Yeah. So it's always interesting to hear how people use songs and composers.
And it influences you. Yeah. And speaking of influences,
let me just say real quick. The reason I was convinced as a child that I wanted to be a singer was a movie called The Idolmaker.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's like from 1979, and not a positive movie about singers, which is kind of like a weird thing, or the business for that matter.
Right.
But for some reason, I loved this movie as a kid.
I'm going to go check that out now.
Yeah,
see.
It's a great movie.
To deeper understand Gio.
Yes. After years later, I found out that several artists, other artists, were obsessed with this movie.
Okay. Oh, I love it.
Prince.
Well, oh my gosh, my next question. Yeah. You knew I was leading to that. So, in, I don't know, 1 minute or less.
Wrap it up.
Prince, why? How did that connection hit for you? I know you're eclectic like I am. You like so many different things, but I feel like Prince is your number one.
I love so many different artists, and then many different artists hit me for different reasons. But then there's, for me, I call it the trifecta, which is Prince, David Bowie, and Queen.
Okay.
And the three of them, because they did popular music, and they like pushed the boundaries of what they could do in pop music, and you know, and none of them were defined specifically by a certain thing.
Love it.
They were able to do everything that they could do, and
genres didn't matter.
Genres, sexuality, visual.
Yeah.
They were visual artists. They were very big. You know, and that to me was just like, they're the trifecta for me. But then, like, you know, I'm also a huge, you know, Leonard Cohen, Johnny Cash fan.
Right.
You know, I love Eric Burdon. Eric Burdon from Animals was like one of the first people that I remember hearing that I thought, that's how I want to sing, like that guy.
Yeah.
Just like that. I want to have that power.
I love it. And power you have, my man. Power. You were talking about your originals with the band, and I got to hear that recently, and my jaw just dropped, and I was like, holy moly, Gio. It's like, you must see this man sing live. It is amazing. So,
you're so kind.
yes.
Thank you.
Speaking of singing, we got to do another one of Gio's originals earlier called Better Now. Do you want to give a brief description of that?
That was very evocative of the time of the lockdown. It's basically like figuring out how we're going to survive, you know, or it was like a plea, you know, just to kind of like, I'm losing my mind. I see your face upon the screen, but I can't see your eyes. It was like the Zoom situation that we were talking, you know.
The Brady Bunch.
Yeah. And
they were early to the Zoom adopting.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They were the pioneers. But yeah, so that was basically like, you know, like I know in my heart, I know that my heart is still deep inside me somewhere. Like we're all kind of in a fog.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Help us, help each other make it better now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here it is, Better Now.
After a year of being locked inside, I think I've gone insane. I may have lost my brain. I can't find my way every day. It's hard to understand what's going on. There's just too much noise. I think I lost my voice. I got nothing left to say anyway. I'm all out of hope and my faith has been bleeding. It's all in my hands to try to make it better now. Better now. It doesn't make it right just to believe it. Gotta be willing to fight to make it better now. Better now. I see your face upon the screen, but I can't see your eyes. It's just a temporary disguise, full of despair and debris. I look again, try to make some sense, and that's when I realize that the truth is a lie. My own reflection staring back at me. I'm all out of hope and my faith has been bleeding. It's all in my hands to try to make it better now. Better now. It doesn't make it right just to believe it. Gotta be willing to fight to make it better now. Better now. Well, I've been laying low for too long. Gotta get out of my way, far away. Yeah. My faith has been bleeding, it's all in my hands to try to make it better now. Better now. It doesn't make it right just to believe it. Gotta be willing to fight to make it better now. Better now. I know that my heart is still deep inside me. Will you reach out and make it better now? Better now. Better now. Better now. Better now. Better now.
I love that song, Better Now, and it was so fun to sing it with you, Gio.
You're such an amazing singer. Thank you so much for...
Who loves you? You're invited back anytime, man. I'll take that.
This amazing woman, just like literally, like we went through it once, and she's like, she had all the parts, and I'm just like, you made it better now.
Stop. I'll take it with that. I might just have to finish up on that note. Gio, what a pleasure to have you here. And you know that you're welcome here anytime.
Yes.
And
the Stoner Corner.
The Stoner Corner. Sorry, shh, don't tell anyone.
And
the secret's out.
We're talking stones.
Yeah, that is it. Stones. What, you know. So there it is. But Gio, thank you.
Thank you so much. Please do whatever you need to do to support this amazing woman and Annette's Duets and her channel and all these shows and when she goes out and plays.
Likewise, but you don't have enough time because he's everywhere. All right, my friends, I'm going to have all of Gio's information up on the screen. You'll see. And thank you, Gio. I just love you. And
thank you.
We'll see you all next time.
Yes. Keep music in your hearts.
Yes.